Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Winning Mondays with KW Malaysia. My name is Mariah, and I'm just happy to say good morning to you all. Yeah, so welcome everyone on Facebook Live. Welcome on Zoom. I know we're starting a bit late today, but better late than never, right? So this weekend was Mother's Day, right, guys? Did you all celebrate yesterday? Did you wish your mom a happy Mother's Day? Um, I went out with some friends in TTDI Park. We were walking, and I had a really interesting experience. I mean, maybe not that interesting, but something to mention. So there was people walking around carrying these really nice like crocheted flowers, and I was like, "Oh, they're so cute. Where did they get it?" And then I saw more than one. I was like, "Hey, there's like maybe someone selling here." Anyways, we came across a company, I guess, like a company, and they were giving them away. So I got a flower, I got a crochet yellow tulip, which I love. It's so cute. And they were, but actually, what it was about is they were giving these flowers to moms, and then along with it, a sample for a product. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is I think it's such a great idea, right? So even I was thinking about you guys in your business and you're trying to make connections. Maybe this is not for all of you. This is not all of your personality, but you can do stuff like this. You can go to a park and have take advantage of something like Mother's Day or whatever, and give out something that's quite inexpensive. Maybe I don't know how expensive these are. They might be more, but even just like fresh carnation, very cheap. Give them out and give your card out, make conversations, like just to let people know that you're around. You could do it in your area where maybe where you've been farming, right? And just make the connections, or even go door to door and just give things away and make conversations. So anyway, just an idea for you this morning as you think about how to lead generate, how to make your business grow stronger and bigger. Yeah. Okay, so happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Yeah, we have a great show today. We have someone special coming on to share with us about the market. That's what's happening now, how to navigate the Malaysian residential property sector moving forward. So before we do that, though, I have a poll question for you guys to warm up your brains, because maybe you slept too late last night. I usually sleep too late. Don't know about you guys. But just to wake up your brain, we have a poll question for you. Okay, so poll question says, I hope you can all see this. All right, comparing the housing market from 2023 to 2024, how do you find the market now? Is it hotter, colder, or you think neutral, about the same, right? So I think on Facebook Live, you won't be seeing the poll pop up like we are seeing on Zoom. If you want to see the poll live, you feel very excited to see my poll, you can come and join us on Zoom. And you can also like type in the chat and, you know, uh, entertain me during the session. Just saying, just saying. Yeah, but let's just have a few. If some of you can answer this poll question, it'll be great. So comparing the housing market from 2023 to 2024, is the market now hotter, colder, or neutral? What's your experience so far? Very interested to see. I'm sure different people are focusing in different areas and might have different experience, so might have different answers. Yeah, so if you're on Facebook Live, you can also just type your answer in the chat, hotter, colder, or neutral. That would be great. We can just get an idea of where you're all at, and I will just wait a few more seconds, and then we'll close the poll and share the answers. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay, so here we go. Here's the results. So, 54% of you said it was hotter. Some of you are having that experience that it's actually better now than it was last year. 23% say colder and 23% say neutral. Okay, that's interesting. Just for you to take note. So if you are experiencing that it's colder, maybe you'll be like wondering who is finding it hotter. Maybe we'll find out a little bit about where is hotter and where is it colder. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this now, and I'm going to invite our guest on. So our guest is Jacqueline Lim she's the head of editorial and branding in EdgeProp Malaysia. Jack, can I ask you to turn on your video and unmute yourself? And I'm going to give you a
Hello.
hello, big winning Mondays. Hello, welcome.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Thanks
Did
so
you,
much.
yeah, did you celebrate Mother's Day yesterday? Did you do anything?
For sure, I have a son, so
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, I think that's the benefit. Somebody would plan out what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the benefit when you're the mom and then someone doing something for you. No, but that's nice. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me this morning. I'm excited to yeah, share with all of you
Yeah, that's
points.
yeah, I know you put a lot of effort. I've been enjoying our going back and forth all week. Okay, maybe before we get started though, if you could just share a little bit about your background and how you came into the current position you are in now in EdgeProp, just so people know who you are and have some context.
Oh, for sure, yes. So my name is Jacqueline. I am part of the team at the H Property, H Prop for short. I have been here for 6 years now, I think. Yeah, but I think for H Prop itself, next year, if I'm not wrong, next year would be our 10th anniversary.
Okay, cool.
We've been a,
Wow.
we've been around.
That's cool. That's cool. Looking forward to that. So yeah, you guys provide, I know a lot of our agents use your services and definitely post their listings over there. Yeah. So I know you have a lot of data to share with us today, right?
Yeah, I mean, not, I wouldn't say a lot, but I think an overview, right? Some of our, I think we have a data team and data and research team that pulls out these important insights for us every now and then when we need to run some stories or when we need to do some market research on
Okay.
thing. So that's basically what it is, right? What we'll be sharing today is hopefully you're able to also get some insights from us on our data. So what we
Right.
did is we actually pull out some transaction insights and we look at data from not just NAPIC, right? We also have data from our own proprietary tool. We have a mapping intelligence tool. If you have not used it, I highly recommend trying it out. So it's our mapping intelligence tool called EPIQ,
Mm,
and we have a little bit more updated transaction insights data from here, where we are able to then update on the current going ons in
right.
the in activities and in the market.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for preparing this for us. So shall we like go into it now?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Yeah, share with us about this. Mm.
So yeah, we like to start off usually with a little bit of an economic indicator, right? To just sort of give you an overview of how right the nation as a whole is developing or at least is growing.
Hmm.
What we're noticing here is there is I mean GDP is usually a signifies an economic growth, right? So what we're noticing here is yes, it has been growing last year slightly, but what we hope to actually see is hovering above 4%, right? That's what we at least expect to
I
see.
see.
But this is the whole of last year, so it's just falling short around 3, averagely at about 3.7.
Right, right. So just like for those, I know myself, I'm actually very new to all this economic stuff. What does GDP cover? When you talk about GDP, what is that about actually? Mm,
Well, GDP usually is it covers a lot of sectors. It
okay.
basically it's your income, right? It's your income is the government's income and spending in a nutshell. And why we look at it is like it indicates how economies are driven, right?
Hmm.
Or at least is developing. And it does cover, like you mentioned, right? It covers all sectors basically of the economy, from manufacturing to construction, right? Construction is something relevant to us. Energy, agriculture,
Right.
it
Okay.
covers all sectors.
Right. So it's not just property. So it would, okay, but we still l- find it useful to look at this. Okay. So yeah, you can continue. Mm,
And then we look at the property market, right? Activities.
okay.
So we look at the activity as a whole, right? From residential to commercial and industrial. And yes, I think in 2023, it's overall showing some sign of recovery, right? In fact, in the first 9 months last year, we had recorded quite high number of transactions. Uh, right? And I think the last time we had such a peak was in 2012. So I think like in your poll, rightly so, right? The agents earlier on indicated that the property is picking up, right? It's getting hotter.
Hmm.
I would like to know also what is getting hotter. So maybe later on, after this, if we have a chance to speak to some of your agents, I am
Okay.
very interested to know why and what are the sectors that they are covering. Maybe some areas of resi types are doing better, or some areas in districts are doing better. I'm really keen to know. Uh,
Right.
to pull out a story out of that.
Okay.
But yes, I think we're seeing a slight growth, and that's good.
Yeah. That's why I'm just noticing, right? It says the first 9 months. So it's the highest number of transactions since the peak of 2012. That seems like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like it's actually getting better, it sounds like.
So I think after the pandemic, it is recovering well.
Yeah. Wow. Do you know like what's causing this surge, do you think? Do you think it's just like after the pandemic, people are finally going out to buy stuff? Or what?
Pent up pent up demand. Yes, I think so. Also because there are new activities, right? There are some planned supply that we finally saw picking up, right? And also, yeah, I think generally, I think there are a lot of activities overall. There is
Okay.
also demand, and not only that, I think later on we'll bring you through some areas of hotspots that are really picking up in terms of
Okay.
activity. And I think overall, yes, you do see that there is always a lot of factors that drive supply and demand. But overall, we would say that yes, there is overall we're noticing a good supply in terms of new units. Maybe that's been driving that over the last 2 years. But also, I think generally just pent up demand, right?
Cool, cool. Okay. Yeah, let's move on. So this is what's this slide about?
Okay, so over on this slide, we break it down a little bit, right? When we look at the transaction activity, we sort of like break it down over here to resi transactions, offices, and also industrial.
Okay.
And yeah, I think like while we're noticing that there is sort of overall overall decline,
Okay.
right? Transactions,
Right.
but major states at least like KL, Selangor, Penang. But we like to point out that Johor has seen quite a remarkable growth, right?
Wow.
Of 40%. So that gives you an indication of what's at least the hot areas that are really picking up or showing interest. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I think like if you look at industrial, then right, it's Johor is also
Oh yeah, also very high.
yeah. So overall, we know that later on also we have some key drivers that will indicate why there is a lot of buzz and interest surrounding Johor.
Okay. We'll go
Mm,
into detail into the different areas.
Penang is
Okay.
so Penang in terms of resi, right? While it's low, but we're seeing industrial
Oh
growth
yeah. Yeah.
in volume in Penang.
Right. Sarawak also down here in Perlis. Cool. Okay, interesting. You guys can all snapshot this page if you want. Okay, let's move on then. Yeah, so average home price.
Okay, so this is showing the average home price. I think like prices have risen quite steadily, right? So that's a good economic indicator of growth. But I think Penang it
Penang is this one, is it? This is Penang.
had a
Okay.
slight dip in 2021, but I think it recovered, right, quite strongly, as you can see
Yeah,
the lines. While KL's recovery is just a tad slower.
right. Okay.
But yeah, yeah, we are looking at Johor have
Wow.
being the outperforming
Yeah,
state.
no kidding. Very exciting. All right, let's move on. Yep.
Okay, so moving on here, we're looking at overall overhang, right? So the good news is that overhang is coming down,
Hmm.
right? As you can see from our arrows, what's going up and
Oh,
what's
okay.
but what is interesting to note is that it has dropped to almost the 50,000 mark since 2019, which
Okay.
is quite a good sign.
Okay.
So there's less overhang and other kind of resi is picking up. Yeah, so I think we're noticing that this is actually a good sign overall, right? When overhang comes down.
Right. Okay. So it's coming down, but still got quite a bit in certain areas. Or
Slightly in some states, yes, in KL particularly. Yeah.
right. Okay. All right. So tell me about this one.
Okay, so I think like what we're moving towards now is I think the earlier slide sort of shown what is happening in the past, right, in the last couple of years. But we always want to look forward, right? So, like in terms of like what to expect and what to expect in terms of supply and demand. And usually, what we like to look at is the incoming supply. So, what we're looking at here in this slide is for Klang Valley, right? We're looking ahead, and the incoming supply typically, hints at a certain sentiment, right? Particularly among developers, right? Because it shows what's being built or what's coming up in the next short years, in the next 2 to 4 years. So understanding this is important. Why is because when we look at the balance of incoming supply and existing stock over here,
Okay. This
it
one.
helps us to gauge whether the market is in equilibrium, right? Is there going to be an undersupply or oversupply situation?
Oh,
Um, and this is what it essentially is, and this is why we typically look at incoming supply in relative to existing stock, right? And then we kind of know, okay, that there's no oversupply situation. And then you can get prepared in terms of the activities coming forward, right? And because that affects a lot of things, that affects demand and prices and so on. But I think we are expecting overall, because we are noticing that it's coming down slightly. So we do know that in
I see.
terms of activities, it might slow down a little bit, but still healthy.
Hmm.
Mm.
And then you mentioned like it seems like the majority is condominium flats, is that right? Of what's available? The
Majority
income
of the income
supply.
supply overall is high rises.
Hmm.
It is also due to scarcity of land, right, in KL, PJ areas. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Okay, we can move on. Yep.
I think, but what is interesting is when we look at like what is being planned or what is coming up in terms of stock.
Hmm.
Um, yes, I think like we see over here, Petaling Jaya is still very high. Uh,
I see.
yeah, it seems high, but it's in relative to the area, right? Like Petaling is very big. But what is really interesting is that we are noticing a few hotspots over here.
Okay.
Right? Other than Petaling Jaya, we are seeing that there is high supply in coming into areas like Sepang,
Oh,
Setapak, Hulu Langat, and Kuala Selangor.
okay.
So this basically shows you a pacing of the supply coming in to these hotspots, and this is being developed in this area, right? These are the areas that are being highly developed because a lot of construction development is happening in these hotspots.
I see.
The pace, so what we can say or what we can summarize from here is that if the pace continues, right, we are potentially looking at doubling up or close to doubling up the existing stock in the area in the next 10 years.
Okay.
also to serve the community, right? Because there is growth in community and hence the demand. Yeah.
Wow. So meaning, I mean, if you could just, for the sake of the agents, like if they're trying to build their business or new people coming in, does this mean that these are potential areas for them to consider to focus on trying to build their business and sell and property? Is that?
For sure, I think it is a market to study
Mm,
closely, and see what the potentials are for you, depending on what you're specializing in ultimately. Um,
right.
but yes, because we know that in some areas we know that there will be high rises of different price points, but also in these areas, not to forget that maybe the mix of property types may also look different from what we are seeing in terms of the incoming supply in Klang Valley,
Mm,
right? You may find a bit more landed properties, not just high rises. So
right.
I think it's a matter of planning out your journey for the next couple of years. Really identifying some of these hotspots to sort of tap into the potential and study it a little bit if you're not familiar with the place, right? Because sometimes if we are not servicing the area like Sepang, we may not be visiting the area. So sometimes it's good to experience what the area offers, right? And ultimately look at the plan and incoming supply to then plan your market,
Mm,
and how you want to really tap into the market.
okay, cool. That's,
Yeah.
what's this one? Very colorful
Oh,
map.
okay. We're looking at yes. So when we look at earlier on, we look at the incoming supply, and I just want to zoom in a little bit, right? Like this is our map that we find on Epic, right? Epic is the tool that we use for mapping intelligence, and when we look at the areas, like what is it? What is serving? What is serving these communities, right? Or as Jancy says, yeah, what's serving in these areas? That these are hotspots, but what it ultimately looks like is we want to look at what is being planned and who is planning it
I
and
see.
coming into these areas. And like we see, like in Kuala Selangor, we see a lot of landed township development taking place, right? And who, I mean, like basically from PKNS, right? We have Eco World also with the Eco Grandeur in Kuala Selangor boundaries. And then we also see like developers like Scientex acquiring land in the area mainly to build more low cost landed homes.
Right.
So earlier on, you asked me how agents can tap into the potential. I think we have indicated here what the planned supply or incoming supply look like, right? There'll be townships, there'll be affordable housing, and this is basically what the community might look like in future, right?
Hmm.
Um, because then you can expect some commercial activities happening as well. And then we look at the other corridor in Kuala Langat area. We
Hmm.
also have a mix of housing types that is landed as condo, and it's looking quite vibrant, right? Because there is developers like PNB coming in with, the Kota Sri Langat Township,
Hmm.
right? And there is IJM, Eco Sanctuary, Tropicana Aman. So with all this development, what it really shows is that there would be planned when there is notable developers coming into the area,
Hmm.
right? Like Eco World, that, and Tropicana, right? That connectivity will improve over time in the vicinity, right? Not just the planned highways connecting the area, but I think like roads, amenities, all these will see an improvement.
Wow.
Uh, and some mix of vibrancy, right? Because they need to cater to the residents, and you would look at what type of development or developers are coming in, and you kind of know what kind of investment they would be taking shape, right? Because some of these developments are from notable developers, right? And we're also noticing like in the other corridor in Kajang Semeni,
Hmm.
right? There's upcoming condos and projects from Tropicana, from Eco World, even,
Hmm.
right? Not just from MKH. So I think in terms of that, I think if we look at that as a whole, like what are the mix of supply coming in and what kind of developers are in the area, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's an indication of the vibrancy to expect in terms of amenities, community offerings,
Right.
play elements. Yeah, so in the next 5 to 10 years, you kind of see that this would be a corridor of growth.
Cool. Yeah, I can see everything's, I mean, these hotspots are all outside of the main center where we're more familiar with, right? So this is all the surrounding areas, I guess, are going to be growing soon. Yeah, exciting. Okay.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about improvements in connectivity, right? So this is what it indicates. Over here, we're seeing all the planned connectivity,
Mm.
but particularly, right, what will really impact changes in how the way people live, essentially, in certain pockets of neighborhood, is really looking at how the planned connectivity is going to serve the communities ultimately, and how it will ultimately then eventually impact prices, right? Um, so we see the construction of MRT3,
Mm.
right? And while it's not really going to impact the entire Klang Valley, but we're looking at places that were underserved by, the train lines, right? Places
Yeah.
like PGO Town,
Yeah.
right, Setapa. So this is the planned MRT3 line, the one in pink.
Yep.
When, yeah, hopefully, yeah, we're seeing that when connectivity improves, hopefully that brings more vibrancy to the area. And we don't know yet, right? In terms of tenant profile and the tenant mix, people are seeking a little bit more convenience in traveling to and from work. I think these are the areas that we want to be able to spot.
Mm. Mm.
MRT three stations are going to be located at. And then we also have the WCE, right, opening.
Ah,
Uh,
that's
and that brings the connectivity from Klang all the way to Kuala Selangor. So
oh.
as earlier on, Kuala Selangor was one of the main hotspots areas. So I think all this overall, when we don't just look at prices, we don't just look at transaction activity or the planned supply, but we also want to know what is going to bring people to and fro the area, right? So that when there is any vibrant commercial activities, uh, there is also accessible. It's also accessible to bring in the footfall from other neighboring
Mm.
districts,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so hence, yeah, we usually want to look at connectivity planned around certain townships or certain areas. So then we have the Suk Highway also connecting in the phase 2 areas, right, extending from Sri Petaling to Sungai Besi. So yes, I think that's connectivity and infrastructure as a whole. So we kind of know that there is going to be some more vibrancy in the extent in the greater KL, I think at least.
Yeah, exciting. Now I'm just realizing that one of the uses of all this is like for agents can also show their investors, right? And it can use this as a touch point to talk about future investment opportunities
Yeah,
for people who want to invest, right? That like, hey, this area is going to be growing, this is a great place. So definitely the property prices will rise in the coming years.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
great. Okay. Yeah, okay, so now we're getting into the more deeper dive, right? So this is Johor.
Yeah, so earlier on we looked at Klang Valley.
Okay.
We're looking at Johor right now.
Okay.
And
Right.
as you can see, as you recall earlier on, Johor was top market, right? It's a top performing in terms of price, even in terms of transaction volume. But we are also seeing a slight decline, right, over the years. So what was planned earlier on 5 years ago, we are reaping the fruits now. And then in terms of the incoming supply, it's slowing down a little bit. And this is basically what it indicates, right? The incoming supply is slowing down slightly
Hmm.
compared to being really active in the last 5 or more years.
Okay. Right. So you're saying there's a decline, but then you're saying it's also a very hot spot. So
Yeah, so you kind of know that in the next coming years, there will be planned supply, right? The planned supply is quite high still. Although incoming supply was slowing down from 2022 to 2023,
hmm,
um, but later on, I think like when we look at the key economic drivers, right, we would kind of know what to expect in some of these areas in Johor, and that would give you that would kind of give you a foresight, right, into what you can expect in the coming years.
right. So like the opportunities that arise out of this,
Yeah.
um, right. So this is an area that the agent should actively pursue, yeah?
Without a doubt, yes. Without
Okay.
a doubt, Prague is hot. I think Johor is certainly a hot area. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Let's go on. Hmm.
Okay, so we want to know what actually is hot, right, in Johor,
Yeah.
because we are seeing a lot of expansion. We are seeing some planned supply coming in, and but I think the areas that you want to be able to really study is places like Kota Tinggi,
I
right?
see.
Not just JB, not just Johor Bahru city
Right.
itself, but like Kota Tinggi, next up Kluang. So I think these are areas of we're noticing areas of potential growth because there's going to be high supply in these spots, particularly.
Great. Okay.
And and again, right, like what we saw earlier on in the Klang Valley, what are the activities taking place in the region? Um, and this would basically give you a sort of like what to expect in terms of the offerings. So a lot of the primary sales are actually driven by townships and business parks. We're looking at areas like Kulai right now, and when we look at that mix, right, what it looks like is, we have the airport, obviously, and then we have the Eco World business parks, and also the different like Scientex, right, is building landed homes, a substantial number of landed homes in the area.
Hmm.
um, and I think, not to forget, right, there's also the RTS, a lot of buzz surrounding the RTS, right? So a lot of planned supply are happening within certain areas where we are able to get more highly connected in some areas, and then that brings, right, that leads to the commercial activities as well, and the industrial activities happening further up north, right, like in places like Kota Tinggi and also Kulai.
Okay. Cool. So this are the areas within Johor. Okay.
At least this is what we're noticing in terms of the plan and incoming supply. These are the areas that are being built and developed. Yeah.
Okay. How about this one?
Um, So one of the exciting, right, signal of growth is usually developers' optimism, right? And we are noticing a lot of rapidly expanding land banks.
Uh,
So in terms of like land sale acquisition, there's a lot of activities that's been taking place. And just in 20, as you can see here, this is only 2023, right? There's a lot of, so there are a lot of activities by different developers, right? There's Scientex, acquiring 6 parcels of land, mostly freehold. And then we have Legenda Properties, right, throughout the early last year. We also have KSL, Crescendo, yeah, I think like 2 land
okay.
parcels.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, and even Scientex themselves, yeah, it's two. Uh, the activities are. picking up, I think, in terms of land banking. So when we see interests like this, we know that in the forthcoming years, right, there's going to be a lot of growth in Johor, at least, in these areas.
Right. So we follow the money lah, follow as these companies are spending a lot of money and to buy all the land out, it means they're gonna do big developments and okay, we can see the future already happening.
Yes, that's true because there are a lot of catalysts, right? And RTS is the main one.
Right.
Uh, and
Right.
as with the special economic zone announcement as well. So hence, there's a lot of interest surrounding some areas of Johor, and I think it's just a matter of time before we hear what's going to be built in these areas, and more launches to be expected. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's Johor. Johor. Okay, so we move on. Right. One more area, Penang. Tell us about Penang. Mm.
Okay. Well, Penang. I think in terms of supply, incoming supply, we're still seeing quite uh, healthy growth, right, in incoming supply. Not so much in terms of the planned supply. So I think we are expecting a lot of the current development taking place and will be completed in the next 4 to 5 years, right?
Okay.
So what's coming up next would essentially be the subsale, would actually add to the subsale activities,
Okay.
right? These are already launched and coming up in these areas. Uh,
Right.
so yes, although it seems slower, right, compared to
Yeah.
maybe
It's
like
5 years.
Johor,
Mhm.
but Penang is a small island, and we're noticing a lot of activities happening on the mainland.
Okay.
So those are the areas, or at least that's the areas of growth that we want to be able to pay attention to. We also want to look at what constitutes this supply, right, that's coming in terms of the incoming stock. It is a lot of high rises, right? Again, if we're looking at scarcity of land, then that's usually a signal of
Right.
why more high rises are being built. But yes, there is also some planned terraces, right? That constitutes about 22%, and but mostly high rises.
Right. Okay, cool. Let's go on. Hmm. So,
Okay.
so in this is the now in localizing within Penang, which areas are have
Yes.
good development?
When we
Hmm.
look at Penang, right, like of course, some areas have already matured, but we want to look at the pockets of growth. And then what you're looking at here is places like, particularly Seberang Perai, Utara, and Selatan, right? That's essentially north and south of Seberang Perai. So a lot of activities are planned in these regions. So we kind of get a sense of uh, the community, right, that's to come, particularly in these zones. There's a lot of, while overall Penang shows that there are more high rises being built, but in particularly in Seberang Perai is mainly landed housing, right,
Mm.
landed terrace houses. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, oh, this is the future outlook. Okay.
Okay. What am I looking at? We're looking at future outlook. Yes, so again, right, that's what we have seen in terms of catalysts of growth. In Seberang Perai, why is there more plans, more incoming supplies? Because it is looking to be a key hub for townships.
Mm.
Uh, Also because we are looking at certain uh, properties being built, right? Like Batam, Lakeview, so that's essentially landed. And then SP Satir as well, they are basically township developers. So what they would bring to the community, you can expect a lot of vibrant commercial and amenities, right, offerings. So this is to build up the areas here, and you also have Scientex, right, at Tasik Kalugo. So
Mm.
these are the activities happening when we look at the planned supply. And then if you look at further south in Seberang
Okay.
Perai South, you're also looking at a lot of like gated landed housing, but also in terms of affordable housing, quite a substantial area,
Mm.
right? Yeah, you can see the red mark underneath, like where affordable housing is pointing to. That's quite a substantial coverage of affordable housing.
Ah, over here.
You can get a sense of the community and lifestyle to come, and and job creation and things like this on the mainland.
So all these maps we can also find on Epic, is it? We can.
Yes, so if you're subscribed to Epic, you will be able to
Nice.
you'll be able to do your own research, basically looking at the plant supply, maybe in areas that we didn't cover today, right? You may
Right.
you may be specializing in certain areas. Uh,
Mm.
you want to go and take a closer look at what's coming up in that neighborhood or in that district at least, and then you'll be able to plan or advise your investors better.
Nice. Okay, just thought we'd come back together for a minute. There's a lot of information, right? A lot of information. Um, yeah, okay. So I wanted to ask though, like how do you use Epic get all this data? Where is it coming from? Yeah.
So we have, of course, we ultimately have NAPIC, right, as our foundation, but we also have built a consortium of data partnerships. So we have gotten a lot of updated data uh, feeding into our system, and also we have layers of maps that we have purchased over time, and sort of built our own proprietary tool, uh, right? That's why you see many layers that you can toggle and play around with, and basically that essentially serves our it basically serves our partners research as well when they
Mhm.
want to acquire land. They look at Epic and see what's planned around the area, and tap into that potential as well.
Right, right, right. Um, yeah, so and people always want to know like, is the data accurate? Is it reliable? So how would you answer this question?
Yes, because not only we have NAPID, right? That's a reliable source from our government, but we also have real-time transaction activities from banks, right? From our partners that's feeding into the system. So these are actually signed and chopped transactions. So definitely it's up to date, and so I wouldn't, yeah, I don't think, I mean, these are sources from mainly government, right, including maps.
Hmm.
So yes, I think the sources are pretty reliable, I would say.
Right, right. Okay, okay, okay. Um, yeah, I have another question though. I just thinking that since you guys are running, one of the top property portals in the country, you would have access to all the searches of the public, right? The public are making a lot of searches on the website. And would you have any idea about what hotspots from the searching that exist? Is that something you are aware of?
Yes, certainly. We mean we look at our what people are searching on our platform on a regular basis, because we not only need it to inform the activities, right, taking place on our site, but sometimes our team is also using it to do the research for our partners, and to inform them, right, on certain decisions. So yes, we do look at it quite a fair bit actually, on
Okay.
particularly in the areas that we just mentioned, right? Like we covered Johor, Penang, and some corridors in the Klang Valley, or at least the Greater KL,
Right.
and we want to be able to pay attention to prices, right? Where are people searching? Where are they looking at? What the prices look like in some of these areas?
Right. Okay, so maybe we can look at some of this data. Okay, right. So this is the portal demand. So this
Yes,
means these
so we
are the
are
searches. Okay.
so we're looking at top 10 areas that our at least our users typically search,
Mm,
right? May or may not look different from other channels. But when we look at the top searches on EdgeProp.my, we're looking at Cheras, at least in the last month. Right, Cheras has picked up quite a fair bit. And then followed by Bukit Jalil, Kepong, Setapak, and KL City. So these are the top five areas,
mm,
uh, right? And then you're looking at the other hotspots like Bangsa, KLCC,
mm,
Mount Kiara, Auckland Road, and Mangsa Maju. And basically, what we're looking at here is an overview of the median asking price in these areas. Of course, then we need to then if you tune into Epic later, you'll be able to see generally what that mix look like, right? If you want to toggle between high rises and landed homes, then you'll be able to see more accurately what the
mm,
prices look like for the property types that you're serving, or at least you're servicing or specialize in. But I think like in terms of prices, we are noticing slight change, right, in Setapak, KL City, and
mm,
Bangsa. So I think maybe there's some interest because there are new developments coming up in Bangsa as well in Setapak and KL City, right? So people are paying attention to these areas and looking into areas that maybe they have not looked at before in places that they want to live,
mm.
mainly because a lot of developments and developers are driving interest in these areas as well, right? So the name comes up very frequently. So that kind of drives our search
This this
as well.
price change is just month to month, meaning like last month to this month.
Yeah, last month to this month,
It's
correct?
quite a big change up,
Yeah,
even though such a short period of time.
yeah. We would also look at the quarterly growth later on, right? And that sort of like averages out to probably a smaller number. But
Okay,
month-to-month growth, it's a little bit more dynamic, I would say. It changes quite a bit.
right. Okay, so then, sorry, this is the first slide. Oh, in KL. Now this is in Selangor. Okay,
Yeah. So that was KL that we're looking at,
right.
and then now we're looking at Selangor. So I think we top two is always Shah Alam, PJ. Right.
Mm,
That doesn't seem to change much. Yeah, sometimes it's PJ, sometimes it's Shah Alam, but I think in this quarter itself, yes, Shah Alam is our biggest search, followed by like Puchong, Kajang, Klang, and so on, right? So we're
okay.
seeing us in the outer Greater KL as well, right? Like Rawang,
Mm,
Semenyih, yeah.
okay. Yeah, let's look at the next one. Oh, this is in Penang.
So yes, so earlier on we shared like what the activities look like in Penang. But yes, there are a lot of interest in Georgetown, in the city itself. Bukit Mertajam ultimately, and Bayan Lepas, Tanjung Tokong. We feel like these five areas don't really change much in terms of their ranking over time, right? It basically it's always the top five, hovering around the top five. Then you kind of see the very huge disparity in prices, right, between the mainland and the island itself. So definitely the in the island prices are not going up much, but we are seeing some price changes, right, in the mainland area like Bayan Lepas, Bukit Mertaj, maybe not Bukit Mertajam, but Bayan Lepas,
Mm,
uh, Tasik, Simpang Empat. Yeah.
right, right. Okay. Oh, sorry, I realized I skipped Johor just now. Yeah. So this,
So yeah, we I think we have come to the last region, right, Johor. Uh, I think Johor City hasn't really changed much month to month. But again, I would like to highlight that if you really tune into or log into Epic and look into the regions or property type, you'll be able to see a different picture in terms of median asking price, depending on what you're looking at, right? But this is general as a whole in the district. And then you're looking at places like Skudai, Iskandar Putri is still having some interest, and including Masai. So I think I think the price change rightly reflects the interest that we showed earlier, that where we have the catalyst in terms of industrial activities, commercial offerings. So places like Kulai, are showing some more price changes. We don't know yet. Maybe when we track it over time, quarter to quarter or yearly basis, then we kind of see a better indicator of what the price change could mean. So I can't really tell you what it means right now. But this is just demand, right? Prices, right? So these are the
Right.
prices listed, yeah, by agents on our site.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's all the data for today, right?
Yes, is that too much?
Yeah, a lot of things. I realized I also maybe we can just go back. I realized accidentally skipped one of your slides earlier.
Oh,
Um, yeah, you had all this information about Penang,
oh.
about the future things. So I thought you looked like you put a lot of effort to create this. I feel bad to skip it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was doing a lot of research to sort of point out what we should be looking at, right? We're looking at key demand drivers, basically. So these are some catalysts, right? So if you look at overall growth, what is bringing that growth to
Mm,
the region? We have, of course, we have the government announcing the LRT line, right? So that improves connectivity. But we are also looking at interest but on the reclaim Andaman phase, right, by E&O,
okay.
right? So that's scheduled for completion. Um, and we also want to look at like the South Island, right? There's a lot of construction happening in Penang South Island,
Okay.
um, and basically there's because it's near the airport, right, Bayan Lepas. So when we look at pockets of activities, this is what we're looking at, right? We're looking at the Penang South Island. There is activities here that's being built or being developed, and then we also have investments happening, right? There are grants on that facilitates different kind of infrastructure being built around that area. And generally, I think we are seeing redevelopment of Penang, right? So that's quite exciting. Yeah, I think, I think the best is yet to come. We we need to see and pay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for all this research that you did. Yeah. So, uh, right. Oh, someone has asked a question. There's a few, I don't know if you were able to answer any of these questions. Someone asked me if we can get copy of the slides. Okay, interesting. Uh, I think also just now you can take screenshot, yeah. Yeah,
I think you can find it on Facebook Live, right? I think you'll be hosted on your Facebook
that's
page.
right. You could go back on this video and see the Facebook Live and just take screenshot of the slides. That's perfect. Yeah. Okay, actually, I want to ask, like, talking about Epic, right? So, um, yeah, what are the tools that you have, available for our agents and our negotiators to use to support their business? Maybe you can just tell us a little bit about that. Mm.
Yeah, of course, you have seen some of Epic, right? What it can do and what can deliver. So definitely, yes, it's a recommended tool for agents for research purposes.
Mm.
Also for you to keep up to date to what's happening, so that you can advise, make decisions on the go, and advise your clients. And besides Epic, there is quite a few things that our team is working on. Right, we are delivering a concierge service this year. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so that's something that you may want to find out more from your account managers, right? Or since I'm sure most of you know Stanley, my colleague, you can always get in touch with him and reach out to him. And yeah, I mean, like if you're keen to either take up Epic or Concierge, those are the main tools,
Can I
right?
ask, yeah, what is the concierge? What is that? What happens?
Basically an assistant for you, because
Oh,
we know that agents are very busy on the go most of the time. So what concierge helps to do is assist you in putting up your listings, right down to marketing them, right, promoting them. Depending on the channels that you want to use or you prefer to use, you can always speak to your relationship manager, who would then assist you in the concierge services, right? So they'll be hand in hand working with you, depending on the packages that you end up taking, right? I believe there are different tiers. Again, you can always get in touch with our account managers,
right.
and then they'll be able to advise you further. But what it is yes, it's basically your assistant, right? Or think of it as your PA, right? To get
That
your
sounds like it.
yeah, updated on while you're on the go, or maybe you may be too busy during that month. So that's basically what it does, right? Also in terms of marketing, right? So if you want to promote it on some of your preferred channels, then your relationship manager will also help you do that.
Right, right. I think someone asking also, can give discount or not for Epic. Hoping to get cheaper pricing. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're in charge of that, but
Person to answer that, but I believe there's always promotion happening every month. So
okay.
I highly encourage you to, if you have not spoken to any of our account managers in a while, try to catch up with them, right? For some updates, because yes, I think in the next quarter there are a lot of exciting things happening on our side. So it's good to catch up with them to see what else you can tap into.
Nice, nice. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else has any questions for Jacqueline. If not, I do have a lot of announcements I want to go through, or not a lot, but a few now. We have a few announcements, and then maybe we go there to announcements, and when we come back, Jack, you can just share some final words, maybe some advice or encouragement for all of our agents. That would be great. Yeah. Okay. So our first announcement is it's not coming. What's happening, Christy? Okay, here we go. Train the presenter. All right. So this is a class coming up. It's this week. You still could sign up today. I think today would be one of the last days to sign up for. So coming up this Thursday and Friday, I'll be running a course on how to present well. It's a really good KW material. It's a really fun class where you learn a lot of theory and you get to, but in between each thing you learn, you get to put it into practice and you build a presentation together there in the session. And we all get a chance to do our presentations and give each other feedback in a very safe place. So this is great if you are thinking about becoming a trainer or you have a team and you're trying to like teach them things, all that, then it's fantastic. It's also useful though, even if you just want to improve your presentation skills for your listing presentations, right? That you're doing to clients and hoping to get that 3% exclusive. You want to have good skills that exude your confidence and get the listeners to understand what you're trying to communicate. So feel free. This course is a very high value. We're selling it out there, but for anyone in KW, it's for free. So you should take advantage if you're a KW agent to come for this session before there's no more time left. Okay, so next week, or I think 2 weeks from now, 29th of May, Wednesday, we have our CPD class for anyone who needs points as a PEA or REA. So we're going to be doing it on productivity coaching. So how you can become a better coach to those under you, a better coach on helping your people to reach their peak performance. And we have a special price for KW agents, only 318 ringgit. So it's more expensive for non-KW, just FYI. All right, next one. Red Day. So I don't know who was at Red Day last week. I was there. We were connecting with the Fuji refugee school. It was a really cool experience. We were helping out in different classes. Me and Sharmila, we were doing a class with older kids, and they were very. I could see they were all very impacted as we shared some of our stories about life and what we went through as when we were their age. So it was really cool. Anyway, thank you to all those who took part. You can, even if you did not go, there's still a chance to donate, right? Today is actually the last day to donate through KW Malaysia Cares to donate money to this school. They're doing amazing work. You can see if you're there. We were very impressed. Everyone there was very, very impressed with their programs and how well run the school is. So it's a really good place to give donation. Yeah, you can use the QR code or you can message one of us, or you can see it in the chat. There's a link here. Okay, next one. Virtual tech training. Don't know if you guys know, we have so much help for you guys. So like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sorry, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, there is tech training available with Sumin. You can have a session with her on Zoom and discuss with her. She will give different topics. Maybe this week is agent site, landing page, and contacts, tax, and mobile app. So if you want help with any of these, come in for a session. 1 hour, she'll be sharing on this. And the second hour from 11 a.m. is tech hour. That's for any support. So you just have questions, whatever you need, you can just come in at 11 a.m. and ask your questions. So this is a way for you to, you cannot say you don't know how to use the tech. Okay, you have a chance to come and find out. Okay, so please come and join in on those sessions. And based on what we were just sharing today, if you like all those maps, you like all this data, you want to be able to get access to it, just 49 ringgit a month is the EPIQ subscription. So you can subscribe directly through this link. Yep. In addition, there's, yeah, if you would like to see the full preview of the recording, you can, if you scan here, you can come and watch the training on how to use the EPIQ, right? So you want, if you missed it, you can, it's already all recorded. You can go back and watch it. It's very, very good. So feel free to do that. And, or even if you're not sure if you want to use EPIQ, go and watch this and you will get an overview of everything that the yeah, that the tool has for you, right? So then if you watch that, you will get an idea and you can decide whether you want to sign up or not. Okay, I think that's the end of our announcements for now. So we'll just come back to Jacqueline. Hi, yeah. So thank you so much for all the work you put into preparing all this so that we have an idea what's happening in Johor, in Penang, and in Klang Valley. Yeah, but just what are any last things you want to say to everyone on our call today?
Thank you very much, Maria and the team at KW for inviting us. Right, I think I'm just representing EdgeProp today to deliver the insights that we have already done on the market. I think as you navigate, right, real estate, the real world of real estate, knowledge and insight is really your strongest asset. So I think stay up to date, right, with some of the news that we are delivering online on a regular basis. But also, I think if you are interested to understand more or see more insights from us, I think don't hesitate to ping us anytime, right? We'll be happy to share what we have uncovered because we are doing research all the time, in fact, on a weekly basis. So we definitely have some information that we can share with you on a very regular basis. But I think other than that, I think I'm very glad that we have some time today to speak. And I think as always, right, as always in this industry, we just have to stay proactive.
Hmm.
And I wish all of you guys continued success, right, in the
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Thank you for your time and all the information. And thank you to everyone for logging in and listening. Hope you got some tips, some ideas of encouragement of what areas to look into for your business this year. So wish you all a good, best week, and we will see you next time on Winning Mondays. Okay, bye everybody.